Good morning and welcome to the University of Birmingham's Open Day. You've just heard the dulcet sounds of Old Joe. That's the tallest freestanding clock tower in the world. Little fact for you there. My name is Ben Goodwin. I studied here a few years ago. I did an BA in history, rather. And I've come back today to tell you a little bit about what it's like to live and study here at the University of Birmingham. Now, we'll be running live online activity throughout the day across our virtual tour site with live streaming from right here on Central Campus. A little bit later, we'll be going over to the Vale to look at some of our student accommodation as well. There's also live Q&As taking place where you'll be able to quiz a current student about what it's like to study here, and you can also view live tweets and Instagram photos. So, the University of Birmingham, well, we've got 28,000 students here studying on some 350 courses. We've recently been ranked 15th in the UK by the Guardian's University Guide for 2014, and last year 80% of our graduates were in graduate level jobs within 6 months of graduating. Now that's higher than Oxford, Durham and Warwick. Birmingham's student satisfaction score was 88% in the 2012 National Student Survey. Again, that's significantly above the national average. And all of this takes place on our beautiful 250-acre campus, which you can see a little bit of behind me. Now, it's all very well and good me stood here chatting all these statistics and things to you, but what you really want to hear from, as do most people who come here on an open day, is to hear from an actual student who is currently studying here. So I'd like to welcome along Tom.
Hi there, Ben.
Hi Tom, thanks for joining us today. Now, what are you studying here?
I'm doing a 4-year degree in physics and I've just finished my first year.
It's going well?
Yeah, it's going really well. I got good grades, so I'm happy with that.
Good stuff. Now, you first experienced the University of Birmingham on an open day like today.
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about your first impressions of the university.
Well, what stood out for me is the fact that it's got a campus feel to it. It's got like the nice red brick buildings. You've got a load of green space, as you can see in the background behind us. Like, this is right in like 5-minute walk from the train station and a 5-minute train ride to the city centre. And I thought it was really nice being able to get like almost the outdoorsy feel whilst at a city centre university like this. And it just struck a bell with me, really.
So you're studying physics, as
Yeah.
you said. Just tell us a little bit about your course itself. What do you most enjoy about your course?
I think one of the nicest things about moving to a university course is the change from being taught by like A-level and GCSE. You're taught by teachers. Yes, they've done a degree in their subject, but that could be like 20 or 30 years ago. The people who teach at university, they are current doctors or professors in the field you're learning in. So a good example of that is my tutor. He is a current physicist, and he's currently doing work occasionally out in Geneva at CERN, at the Large Hadron Collider.
Wow.
So he, like every so often when we're doing tutorials and stuff, I've had questions and he's been able to answer them. And it's like occasionally he's had to reschedule tutorials and stuff because he's had to go to big international conferences at CERN and everything like that.
And that goes, this international research goes direct to you, I guess.
Yeah, so like all of our lecturers, they're people who know about what they're talking about because they are actually doing current research in the field you're studying.
And, just as a student here at the University of Birmingham, tell us a little bit, if you can, what is a typical day in the life of a student?
Well, I can only really speak for physics students, which is one of the higher contact hour courses. For example, my girlfriend does a ancient history degree, and she has much less contact hours than me because it's a different type of course. Physics is a lot more academic, exam and lecture based, whereas history and other art subjects are more essay based. But typically for me, I have about 25 contact hours per week, which normally consists of a day about 9 till 5, maybe later, maybe earlier, depending on what the timetable's like. Lectures of an hour long and normally about 3 or 4 per day. You also have a total of 5 hours of labs.
Labs, they sound exciting.
Labs
is there explosions?
Occasionally, depends. Probably the most exciting thing was when someone managed to, one guy was messing, like we've done stuff with radioactive materials, like seeing how far they go through different materials, counting all that sort of stuff, all the physics stuff. Like, I'm sure people, I could talk for hours on it, but I'm sure people would rather, if they're interested in physics, sure, they can come along to one of these open days and speak to other physics students. But yes, labs are really a really good bit.
And obviously, you come to university, and there is a big distinction from what you experience as an A-level student to a university scholar. How do you make that transition?
See, like loads of people realise, everyone here who's coming to university really have done A-levels, majority of people at the very least. I know there's IB and stuff like that. However, like there's the transition between GCSE and A-level where it becomes a lot more your own personal learning. But even though they make, like when you get to college, they make that out that that's going to be the biggest transition, it's nothing compared to the transition of coming to a lecture and having to make all your own notes. You can't fall back on almost, like some of my lectures, it was like for our classical mechanics lectures, it was make your own notes or don't learn the topic, because it's kind of a thing where you have to do the diagrams and everything as you go along. And that transition of your own, having to structure your own learning to a much greater extent is the biggest transition. And for me personally, it did actually take a fair while to get into the swing of it. But once you do, it's just really refreshing being completely in control of your learning.
And I suppose as well, there's a lot of pastoral care in place to make sure that you do get the help you need to get to that level.
Yeah, like particularly, I know in physics, and I'm pretty, like like for example arts, I know quite a lot of them have seminars and stuff like that. Physics, we had weekly tutorials where we could go through like the problem sheets and everything like that and discuss how we got on with the problem sheets. If we had problems in particular, go, listen, can you help me through this? And your tutor or even the lecturers themselves are quite often happy to talk to you either after lecture, or you can make an appointment and meet up with them at their office to go over stuff when you need to.
Great stuff. And I suppose as well, coming to university, it's not all about, well, it is, obviously people come here to study and to learn and to get a good degree and go on in life. But there is a lot of fun as well in the downtime. So what kind of things have you got involved in on campus away from your studies?
Well, I've been for the past year a committee member on the physics committee. So I've helped organise the big end of year physics ball, which was for all 4 years in physics. We had about 400 people there, massive book tables at the Birmingham Botanical Gardens. I've helped organise events like that, and you can really get stuck in. It helps you, if you're someone who's not quite as good at going out and making friends, events organised by like your subjects society or your resident association at your halls can organise really good events where you can just go out and meet people who are also either doing a similar course to you or living in the same are, which means that it helps everyone. There's something here for everyone. Like I've done other various guild societies. I've done a bit of sport with the sport thing. I did a bit of swimming, like with lower members, just fitness-wise. But there's something here for everyone. There's so many different societies you can join, and it's really good.
I feel like I'm missing out. Obviously, University of Birmingham is in Birmingham. What's your relationship with the city itself?
Well, when I came here for the open day was I first came to the city itself, and of course there's all the like old horror stories about how it used to be. But like with the recent rejuvenation stuff you've seen, I haven't been told to say this, by the way, this is my opinion. It's a really
disclaimer.
Yeah, it's a really nice city, and when you get to know it, it really becomes somewhere you feel more really at home. Like the fact there's so much to do, there's so much culture, there's so many different like museums and stuff into it. That there's so many events going on. You've got the big the big arena,
NEC,
that's the one. Those ones.
ICC.
Yeah, all those big convention centres. So if you're into conventions or sporting events or gigs or anything like that, there's so much on. And as like the second biggest city in the country, that it's just it's like because it's got the feel of a big city. But then it's got sometimes more of a charm to it, I feel, than London, just because it feels like it's got more of a personality in some ways to me.
I think I heard somebody describe it as a global city with a local heart.
Yeah, no, that's
a bit cheesy.
It's corny, yes, but definitely. Like, you get to know your area really well. There's so much green space for a big city, like the campus and the Vale and all that. Edgbaston itself is really nice. Like, there's so many parks you can go to. Me and my friends went down to a park in Selly Oak, had a barbecue the other week, just once the weather gets nice. It's just got a really nice community feel about it.
And you mentioned Selly Oak there. Selly Oak is obviously where most students live in their second year. Just tell us a little bit about Selly Oak.
Selly Oak, it's basically like the big suburban area just that way down past the campus. There's a load of like terrace houses and everything. And as you said, like second, third, probably fourth years live there as well. But because it is such a dense student area, it almost feels like its own campus in some ways. So like, even if you're worried about moving into a house, you like if you've made friends in halls and stuff and you're not living with them, the chances are you're going to be a 10-minute walk away from them. There's everything you need for a big student area down at Selly Oak. So there's obviously supermarkets. There's an Aldi for people who can't afford Sainsbury's and stuff like that. There's
other supermarkets are available.
Supermarkets are available. I'm not doing brands. There's just the two I thought of. But there's everything you need for a student one. There's obviously all the off licenses if you want to go out drinking. There's some good local pubs like the Goose and the Soak. There's obviously Rooster House, the famous chicken bar. If you come here, obviously you will get to know Rooster House. But it's just got that really nice feel to it. Like, you still feel like you're with people you know. It's still got that. From what I've seen and from what I've heard, it's still got a nice community feel to it.
But in your first year, you were in halls,
yeah.
and I guess that's the case for most first year undergraduates. What was it like living in halls?
It's a big change from living at home. I mean, people-wise, there was the same amount of people in my halls at home, but it's refreshing to move in. Like, you get to almost make a new start. Like, you get to move in, you get to start being yourself. You have to cook for yourself if you're self-catered. You have to schedule your own time. You're not going to get your mum yelling up the stairs, dinner's ready. You have to make sure you remember to eat and do your own shopping. And a lot of people may be daunted by that, and to begin with, I was at first. But you quickly get into a routine, and it's just really nice being able to have more control over your own life.
And also as well, that those first couple of weeks when you move in to the student accommodation, you're meeting people for the first time that you from all over the country, all over the world. In fact, that must be so exciting.
It is. There's so much put on by the university, by the Guild of Students, such as like the Fresh Offence events, and like I said, your resident associations, your RAs. They put on loads of events to help you get to know people in your halls. Like at the beaches where I live, our RAs, they bought something like 50 Domino's pizzas and just said, "Hey, everyone, come to the courtyard, eat pizza, get to know your halls, the people who live there." Like a few weeks ago, we went to they RAs put on an event to go see Iron Man 3 at the cinema for £3 with free popcorn.
Can't that,
no, you can't.
Free popcorn as well.
Yeah, it's just
I'm missing out.
There's so much that goes on, and so much ways you can just get out. Even if you're someone who's not good at organising yourself to go on events, there's so much put on by the university for you.
Fantastic. Well, Tom, I just want to thank you for your time.
No worries.
But fear not, because Tom is not going far. No. Tom is going to be joining us on our virtual tour site at 11 a.m. Yeah, I've got that right. And Tom will be answering questions. So if you've got any questions now, log on and send those questions, and he'll try and get through as many as he can. Meanwhile, I'm going to hot-foot it over to the Vale. It's just a short walk away. And at 12:15, I'll be joined by Gemma, and we'll be having a look at some of the student accommodation. So thank you so much for joining us. Stick with us throughout the day, and we'll have lots more fun stuff coming up on our virtual tour site. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching.